All right, so it's been about a day since Alabama lost to A&M, and I'm a lot more calm, lot more. I have my thoughts, I think, together. Not gonna yell, not gonna scream here, but I'm just gonna bring you guys the honest truth of how I feel about this Alabama football team moving forward, and if we have a shot. Well, I think the first thing is that yeah, we have a shot of still making it to a national title. We still have a shot of winning the West. We still have a shot of winning the SEC. We still have a shot of beating Georgia. We still have all those things are still on our grasp. It's not like how we lost to it's more similar to how we kind of lost to LSU, and we still have an opportunity. But it wasn't until we lost to Auburn that we just kind of Alabama fans knew that yeah, our season was over and we just had to compete in a bowl game. We still have an opportunity. And it's we lost. I remember when we lost to Ole Miss back-to-back years, and thinking if the dynasty was over, and we ended up winning the national title back in 2015. So we got a chance, we got an opportunity. The bad thing is that out of all those teams that have had won losses, that have won titles, they've never lost to an unranked school, and they've never lost to a quarterback that's completed less than 53% of his passes. So that's the bad thing about it. But I'll just say this right here. This team has a lot of concerns. And it's extremely concerning to watch this football team last night. I watched the game again today, and there's just so many things that are just wrong with this team. And it's not like it's something that we've never seen before. These are things that we've seen the entire year, and even we had questions about it going into the preseason. The fact of the matter was that our secondary was going to be the weak link. I said our secondary was going to be the weak link, and guess what? They definitely were one of the weak links. Our offensive line is concerning. They haven't gelled together yet. But I don't even think it's the gelling part that's the biggest issue. It's the fact that they're getting bullied. Emil Ekiyor has been the biggest surprise on our offensive line. He simply had a horrible season so far. Chris Owens can't play right tackle. He's a center that's playing at right tackle because we lack depth somehow, some way at the right tackle's position. Our best side has been Evan Neal and Javon Cohen. That's been the best side. And but even Evan Neal struggled a little bit at left tackle, and even Javon Cohen did not have his best game there. Darren Delcourt has simply been horrible. Simple as that. Darren Delcourt has not been good at the center position all year long. And I don't know if we have to make specific changes. I don't know if we have to move Javon Cohen. I don't know if we have to, maybe we move Javon Cohen to the right tackle spot. Maybe we have somebody at guard. I don't know. Maybe we try to put Damian George. Maybe J.C. Latham or Tommy Brockermeyer. Maybe we'll give them a shot. But clearly, we're having a player in Chris Owens who's way out of position, play at a spot that he's just not comfortable in. That's not his best spot. Or even move him inside of guard, I think would be a better area compared to him playing at right tackle. That's just not his position. And the fact that we just don't have any confidence in the guys behind Chris Owens at right tackle is a concern to me. I have general concerns about our receiving group. Jamison Williams is our clear-cut number one receiver. There's no question about it. But John Mechie has just not been reliable this year. He has not been reliable. He's had 6 drops in the year. And he even had some drop concerns last year, but he is not a feature receiver. He is not a clear-cut number one. He's number 2. He's a number 2 guy, but he has simply just been a disappointment this year. He's simply been. The fact that we haven't seen John Mechie even been double covered, we haven't seen the defense really focus their game plan around John Mechie. Notice in the passing attack, what their game plan was focused on. It was on Jamison Williams, not John Mechie. Jaleel Billingsley simply had a horrible game. I'm not going to write off the Jaleel Billingsley ship, but he just had a horrible game. He just had a horrible game. He was horrible. He was horrible in the running game. He was horrible. He was horrible as a receiver. He was just not reliable. And the same thing about Cameron Latu. Our tight ends didn't show up tonight or yesterday. They didn't show up. And I think that will be a one-time thing because all season long I've seen our tight ends play really good, but our tight ends simply didn't show up today. Jaleel Billingsley dropping that crucial catch. And even though it's a low catch, I get it. It's a low pass. I understand it. You have to make that catch. It's in your hands. You got to find a way to make that catch. Because if you make that catch, I think Bama's driving down the field, and I think we're going to be set up in field position. But then we talk about penalties. That's been happening to us all year long. Crucial penalties that have just ruined our drives. We were in the red zone, I think, 8 or 9 times. And a lot of those drives, besides the obvious game management by Bill O'Brien not to run the football inside the 5-yard line, and we haven't done it once, it was penalties. It was penalties that set us up to 1st and 15. It was holding calls in 1st and 20 situations that ruined it. And you can't do it against that defense. We kept giving A&M life, and that was the problem. Now, there's no question in my mind if this game was at home, Bama would have won. Absolutely. Bama would have played this game at home. They would have won this game. There's no question about it. But the fact of the matter is that we've had 2 games in a row now on the road in 2 hostile environments, and we've played like shit in both those games. So we play Mississippi State, another team that beat A&M at their place, and we play them at another height in another home game. I'm sorry, in another away game at night. And you expect me to have any confidence in this Alabama football team of beating them at their place when we clearly haven't played good in a hostile environment? So that's very concerning to me, that we can't find ways to play in a hostile environment. We can't find ways to play good on the road. That's just concerning to me. I will also say this, our defense and Pete Golding needs to be fired. I think it's clear, it's obvious. I said it yesterday, including our live stream. Pete Golding just needs to go. We've seen time and time again that these players just can't really execute this defense. And that's on the defensive coordinator, because sometimes if you've seen time and time again that your players can't execute your scheme, I don't even think that's just a lack of focus. I think, again, we've seen it since last year. We've seen it even going back since 2019. And if you look at the correlation of all those years, maybe besides 2020, 2019 was our most experienced secondary. They struggled under that scheme. 2021, our most experienced secondary. They struggled under that damn scheme. And when Pete Golding, to his credit, when he simplified the defense in the second half by mostly just playing a man scheme, we were a lot better. So our secondary has not gotten used to that. And again, I think blame needs to be put on Pete Golding. I think blame needs to be put on Carl Scott. And I think blame needs to be put on Nick Saban for that. Because that's Nick Saban's area. That's his area. And the fact that the secondary has just been a hot mess when it comes to just miscommunication, never turning around and finding the football, and they've not been good in run support besides really Brian Branch, and really since Brian Branch, that's a huge concern. Our linebacking core has been horrible, and I don't even know if it can be fixed. Christian Harris we need to put an APB out for Christian Harris. He's simply been horrible. Henry T I'm getting off the train of Henry T. He's simply not been reliable for this football team. He's been a hindrance for this football team on the field so far. I think that Jalen Moody needs to be given a shot and an opportunity. They need a refresher. The same mistakes that we've been seeing from Henry T and Christian Harris all year have not been fixed. Over pursuing their players, not taking the proper angles, not taking on blockers, confused on which responsibilities they should have in zone coverage, can't do shit in man. It's absolutely unbelievable so far what we've seen. The most shocking part, however, guys, was our defensive line. Our defensive line, I thought, was going to be the strength of this team. I thought we were going to go back to the 2016 type of version of our defense, and I was wrong. Byron Young, Justin Agbobi, LeBron Ray, Fedarian Mathis, DJ Dale, Timothy Smith, those guys are just not it. They're good players, but they're not great players. And the fact that we couldn't do anything against 3 freshman offensive linemen is just incredible to me. We couldn't do shit against them until the second half, and that was just stopping the run. But we couldn't get any pressure at all on the quarterback. We didn't have a sack today. We only had 2 quarterback hits on the quarterback. Will Anderson is our only effective pass rusher. And our second best pass rusher, ironically, was Dallas Turner. He was our second best pass rusher today. So, this team has a lot of weaknesses. And I know a lot of people say, well, look at what happened in 2020. Or look what happened in years past. Yeah, but at least you saw improvement. And that's one thing that I guess I'm going to look forward to. I'm looking forward to is, can we improve? You know, right? We got kicked in the teeth by an unranked team for the first time in 14 years. Can we wake up? Can we improve as a football team? And can we go? And I think that's the one thing that I'm just looking forward to. Because if we don't, and if we continue to see these areas, these same weaknesses in areas that we saw in the Florida game, that we saw in the second half in the Ole Miss game, that we saw in yesterday's game against A&M, this football team is not going to go far. This team's not going to win the West. This team is not beating Georgia. This team is not going to a national title. This was an embarrassing loss by Alabama standards. And again, I give a lot of credit to A&M because they showed up, they played their asses off, they won the game. But the fact that we had 9 drops, the fact that we were in the red zone 8 times, and the fact that we were in the 5-yard line inside the 5 4 times, and we never ran the ball once inside the 5. It's an overall effort. It was horrible coaching. We had a horrible game plan. Our players didn't execute the game plan. And we ended up losing to an unranked football team for the first time in 14 years. And the worst part about it is that we lost to a quarterback that can barely complete 53% of his throws. So we'll see what happens with this football team. If you ask me right now if we can if we can beat Georgia, absolutely not. If you ask me right now if we can beat Arkansas, absolutely not right now. So we'll see about it. We'll see if this can be the wake-up call for this football team. I still, I have a little bit of faith in this team that maybe they can get it together. But if not, if we want to put the same performance like we did tonight or we did yesterday, we're not going to go far. Simple as that. So anyway, guys, that's all I got. Enough of me kind of just spewing about it. I think this is going to be my last time talking about it. We're going to move forward to Mississippi State, and we're going to see if we can continue to improve. But if not, we're going to end up the same way how we ended up yesterday. Just sad, depressed, and getting ready for the 2022 football season. But anyway, guys, Jan Sports, a.k.a. Jan716. Have a good night or day wherever you guys are, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.